Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today is day 2 of May I Scraplift You, which was a series started by Crystal of Pineapple Papers. Today we are scrapbooking life with Evie over on Instagram. I hope it's Evie and not Evie, but whatever it is, she makes some beautiful, beautiful pages. Now, she has this gorgeous cut file in sequins with this beautiful family photo that she has. I am not going to use a cut file, but I'm going to be using a mandala stencil from Scrapping Reflections. I pulled out my sequins, some vellum die cuts, some awesome papers, and of course a Disney trash can. This is the Grand Floridian trash can, so let's see what I can do. Alright guys, so I have my most beautiful pink wood grain paper that you can get from Paper House Productions. If it's still available, I'll put the link down below for you guys. I just love it. I think it is an amazing paper, and I'm going to put my mandala stencil over it. I'm kind of holding it in place just ever so slightly with the new lower tack purple tape. And I have to say, even though I'm loving the design on the new purple tape, I'm not as big as a fan because it's such low tack. It doesn't like to stick. It's kind of driving me insane. So I need to be on the lookout, I think, for another low tack tape, one that's got a little bit more tack than this guy. So I am using the Pink and Main blender brush and some Close to My Heart ink in Raspberry to ink through the stencil. Now I am going to go ahead and ink this entire stencil up, and I'm trying to get a good amount of ink out of my brush and onto the page. Because I am doing a tone on tone, I want to make sure that my color is saturated enough so that you'll be able to see the lines from where the stencil was. So when I do finally pull off the mandala stencil, it's not going to have as big as an impact as a dark ink on a white background, which has super big impact when you move the stencil. Now my stencil did shake ever so slightly and shift, so my lines are not as crisp as I would have liked them to be, but I'm not sweating it, you guys. In the long run, it's not a huge deal, and if somebody looks at it and judges it, you know, that's on them. I don't really care. So now I am just going to make sure that I get that darker color in the center of the mandala away, because I didn't want that piece to kind of be forgotten or anything like that. Now, I knew that my photo was going to cover up this area where I'm using the purple tape to hold it down. I knew it, and this step that I'm doing right now is completely a waste of time, but I do line up my stencil and stencil it in right there as well. And for no other reason then I just wanted it to be complete and not have some weird square shape out of it. Even though you're not going to see it when the layout's done, I know it's there, which is kind of weird, I know, but that's fine. Now, I was thinking about cutting this out and then cutting out it one more time, so I would have this very thin pink wood grain kind of line shape that followed the outline of the mandala. Does that make sense? And then I was going to put that on black cardstock and put both of the leftover pieces on black cardstock, so you would have a dark line of black around the mandala. I know that that's pretty poor job of explaining it, but if you can kind of picture it, there it is. Instead, I just decided to trim down my pink paper here and just plop it down on some black cardstock to give it a border. I felt like I needed to keep this kind of contained, even though the inspiration layout is not contained. I just felt with this color scheme it needed to be. So I am going to use some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to map my photo on this glitter stock. Now, glitter stock is awesome. The glitter does not rub off. However, it is difficult to get my regular ATG or any kind of dry roll tape adhesive to stick to it. So I always recommend, if you're using some sort of glitter cardstock or you are working on top of a glitter glaze, you're going to want to use a wet glue because it gets down there in the nooks and crannies of the glitter and it just holds on to it a little bit better. So I have my photo there and I'm going to dollop some glue dots around the mandala, and I'm just going to add some varying shades and types of sequins on top of these glue dots. So I'm using my absolute favorite sequins ever, and these are a gold sparkle sequin that you can get from Brutus Monroe. And then I'm also going to pull in a couple sequin mixes from Spiegelmom Scraps. The colorful one is Melon Ball, and I honestly don't remember the one with all of the black sequins on the inside of it. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. So I do dollop down some pink sequins as well, and I'm making sure that I'm using all of the points and making sure that each one has the same type of sequin. So I don't want it to be random, I want it to be a pattern. Now I'm going to go ahead and keep on doing that until I figure that that is good enough. Now you could have done this with like some sort of Nouveau drop, anything like that. And I think in the inspiration sketch there is sequins and Nouveau drops. But honestly, I completely forgot about it until right now when I was doing the voiceover, which is fine. All that means is I didn't have the layout out constantly. I kind of looked at it, took note of how it was designed and how it was put together, and then went on my merry way. And sometimes with scrap lifting, that's how I do it. And sometimes with scrap lifting, I keep referencing the layout because I want to truly scrap lift it. You know, that's just the way it is. The beautiful thing about scrap lifting is it's kind of like a sketch. You can copy it. You can kind of just copy the style. You could find one element on that layout that you want to duplicate. It doesn't have to be a rule. There's no hard, fast rules other than the ones that we really place on ourselves when we're scrapbooking. And you guys, I gotta tell you, when I don't follow the rules and I kind of do what I want and do what makes me happy, my layouts come out much better, in my opinion, and I'm happier in the process. And then that's usually when I can really bust out some projects and I'm not, struggling to come up with what I want because, I'm doing whatever the heck I want. So my advice is do what you want. You will have a lot of fun. And that's what it's all about. It truly is about having some fun. Now I am almost finished with these sequins right here. And I just love this. It definitely doesn't have the contrast that the original does, since it was a cut file. Mine is definitely more of a tone-on-tone kind of feeling, but honestly, I love it. I just really do love it. And that's a good thing, right? We should love our layouts, you guys. Like, we shouldn't finish it and be like, ugh. I mean, sometimes that's going to happen. I mean, if we're just being honest with ourselves, but most of the time it should not happen. It shouldn't be after every layout occurrence where you just look at it and you're like, oh, what was I thinking? Okay, so I am going to pull in just a couple more pink sequins right there. Did I really not put sequins on all the points? Oh no, I see them. It's just the way the light's hitting them. It looked like I missed some, but I wasn't, which is hooray. Now these are vellum die cuts, and I got them from Close to My Heart, and I pulled them because I felt like they were a good color match. So the pink is a good color match, and then of course it's got these dark black, which shows up a little bit of gray because it is on vellum. So I'm going to add some florals down, and then I also have this banner that says Celebrate Every Day. And since my photo is popped up, I need to add a little foam to the edge of the banner. That way the banner isn't kind of leaning off of the photo. If I didn't pop up that end of the banner, the background paper and the photo are two different levels, and it would be crooked. Like it would be leaning. It would be like a slide right on down off of the edge of that paper. So now I'm going to go ahead and tuck in the kind of greenery that's in black. And I'm just making sure that anywhere there's going to be adhesive, it's going to be hidden. I don't want you to be able to see the adhesive through the vellum. Sometimes that doesn't bother me, but sometimes it really does. And I think on this layout, it was really going to bother me. Now I decide to make a little title here that just says Grand Floridian, and it's not anything fancy. I'm grabbing these little teeny tiny black and white letter stickers, and I'm just spelling out the words. And kudos to me, I spelled Floridian backwards without writing it out. Sometimes that happens. Somebody's car outside was not sounding that great. So I decided to start at the end of the word because I knew where I wanted the letters to end, and it truly didn't matter to me where the letters began over top of this photo. I was more concerned with the ending point, so that's why I worked backwards. Sometimes, though, I have to write it out, the word. That way I'm just not screwing up anything, and, you know, you're not getting anything backwards or mixed up, or you put the letters on incorrectly, because that happens sometimes. Now I am going to add just a little touch of journaling down here, and I'm talking about how this is a Grand Floridian trash can, and it definitely is a different style than the rest of the trash cans in Disney, but that doesn't make it any less beautiful. And if you've ever been to the Grand Floridian, it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous resort. It's a great place to take a nap. That lobby, love it. Okay, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you click on the links down below. Those will be the people that are playing along with May I Scraplift you every single day this month. And I'll see you guys again real soon for another video.